Today is all about Manifestation Mondays here at Pyramid Yoga, and we got a beautiful little workshop happening. So keep on watching, make sure you like and subscribe. You might learn a few things, and you'll learn how I basically retired on this island for 7 years. Not bad. Okay, so now I know who you are. My name is Uddin. I come from a very, very poor Bangladeshi Muslim upbringing, living in Bexilonsi. There's nothing called manifestation there. We're just broke. I come from a very, a classic Bangladeshi Muslim family. If you've ever seen the film East is East, my life was like that. So forced into child labor. Classic phrases like, money doesn't grow on trees, women are after your money only. I saw a lot of pain and suffering around money. Manifestation isn't just about money, but purpose is a very powerful thing for men, especially if we have a reason to live, then life becomes more passionate and we actually get a little bit excited about living. If we have no purpose, then we just sit around smoking weed or whatever you want to do to pass the time, computer games. So I didn't know anything about manifestation until 2016 on this island. I always traded my time for money. I worked at my dad's Indian restaurant from the age of 13. I believe it was a Verve song, which was "You're a slave to money, then you die." I believe that was from the Bittersweet Sympathy. I was depressed as fuck, tried to kill myself at the age of 8, and ever since then I had existential depression, and I just didn't think life was much of a place to be in because it was just shit, and I could see how fucked everything was. So I would smoke weed and I would just escape anyway to not be part of existence. But I also saw systems. I saw if I get educated, at least I could get out of my parents' home and then go to university and have a 3-year holiday. And when I got to university, I found out it is definitely a 2-year holiday, because you speak to the people ahead of you and they'll say, yeah, you just don't have to do any work until your final exhibition and your dissertation. So I just dicked around. I was the worst, best student. I just rock up drunk. I was very charming, so I was very friendly with the people who served me food in the canteen, so they gave me more food. I was very charming to the people in the administration department who gave me the money, and I was very charming with the main teachers that loved me, but everybody just knew I was a bit of a dick. So fun was my main thing. Seeing loopholes in the system was also my main thing. And telling everybody how to get things better. So when I found out there was a free iMac that you get if you're dyslexic, I was like, wow, you get that? So I basically did a dyslexia test right at the end of graduation, so I had a brand new Mac. Welcome. And you too. So when I found these loopholes inside of the structure that is like university, society, especially jobs, Manifestation Mondays with Shaft. Who I noticed these loopholes, and there's structures to everything. There's also loopholes in corporations. And I also found out that when I get a job, and when you leave your job, and then you go to another job, you could go up a few salary brackets. So I thought, I wonder if I could just keep on doing that. Then I found out that if you actually become a freelancer, you get paid way more than somebody who has a salary job. And I noticed by the grace of the gods that I never had a long-term full-time job. I just kept on getting made redundant. Like I was in an industry during a period where it's the biggest recession, like 2008. But I always found a way where everything actually ended up okay. even better than what was going on in the world. Yes, there's panic. There's always panic. There's always bitching and moaning. But after 4 decades of looking at my life and being conscious and sober and aware and self-aware enough to go, I'm not just in the story. I'm not just in the trenches. I'm able to witness my life, witnessing my life. As Muji calls it, the witness, witnessing the witness. On ayahuasca journeys or plant medicines or psychedelics or psychedelic assisted therapies, you're able to navigate through, if you're smart, navigate through the interdimensional spaces you go into your mind or out there, or wherever you actually go. I actually don't know where you go. Do you go inwards or outwards? You're able to navigate it. But it's like if I had a balloon and I want to get it over there, I could like hit it lightly and it just like go its own way, and then I'll hit it again, it's go its own way. And that's how I see life. I have a plan, and we've all achieved our plans. And then there's God's plan, and that's random. Usually it's painful. Usually some kind of loss of something. And if you don't pass the test, you'll keep on getting beaten until you hit that rock bottom. And you will change, and it's always for the better. It's super shitty at the time. Why did my fiancé sleep with my best friend? Why did I have to lose my arm at that point and couldn't use it anymore? And then my whole body didn't work anymore. Like all these terrible things that happened in your life always led you to something more powerful, especially within yourself. And you always have 2 choices. It could either be a trauma story, and you go around telling that story, why me, why me, why me? Or it could be, what I learned from that was this, and it was really horrific, really challenging. I'm fully healed from it. Oh, I learned some things about it. I wonder if anyone wants to know about that stuff, if they need to go through that part in their life. Oh, here's a little handbook that I made for you. So life is a beautiful journey of collecting data, seeing what you've done, what works and what doesn't. It was only until I reached a moment where I couldn't get drunk anymore. I was an alcoholic and a drug addict. And that's when I fell off this thing called the rat race. I had the house, I had the girlfriends, I had the successful job. I had everything, but it just felt empty inside. And I kept on feeding the hungry ghost with parties, connections, more love, more intimacy, more big flat screen TVs that I never watched. That was never in my house because I was working all the time. And then eventually, by the grace of the gods, a really shitty thing happened, which was I couldn't get drunk anymore, which meant I didn't have my identity. I couldn't connect with people. And that's when I discovered a thing called Tantra. And Tantra drove me out of London, losing all of my friends who were all drug addicts and alcoholics. To this day, a lot of them have taken their own lives because we were really mentally ill. I was the leader, so I was like the worst. But they couldn't understand why I was doing a really weird thing where I would massage women's vaginas sober and not have sex with them. And then charge vast amounts of money for it. And then eventually leave my advertising, very successful 6-figure salary job to come to Koh Phangan and learn a thing called yoni massage, yoni healing, yoni de-armoring, how to be a daka, how to be a tantric jiggler, how to do all this stuff, how to run massive play parties, how to run conscious events where everybody connects sober with their hearts. So we're no longer getting shit-faced, but we're actually having deep, meaningful, loving relationships as well as friendships, and they're long-lasting. And they're not superficial, they're real. And everybody's got each other's backs. That was when I discovered manifestation. On this island, 2016, I was at this school. It's pretty boring, but I met a guy, and he ran a lot of mystery schools in India. And we were at the Dome, which is like this nice little sauna place. And we were looking at the full moon. And in this moment in my life, I'm just fresh on the island. I love love, and love is my favorite thing. And being in a relationship always boosts my my creativity. Like when I have a girlfriend, she's like my muse. And together, we have a lot of creativity, and it helps us have more impact in our community and the planet. So in this moment in my life, I didn't have a girlfriend at all. And I always know my success level back then, this is a decade ago now, from how much money I'm making and how much great sex I'm having. That's my gauge. That's my data. It's like, am I happy? Yes, I'm making shit tons of money and I've got loads of beautiful, committed girlfriends. Like, great, happy shaft. So if I'm not having that, then I'm pretty low and pretty sad. I'm bitching and complaining. So I was in bitching and complaining mode. And this guy at the Dome, who runs a couple of mystery schools, he says, okay, you're a temple priestess for 4 past lives. I've never met somebody who has been such a Dakini or priestess for such a long time. You got some special ability. So he made me feel special. It's nice. And he said, I'm going to give you a little a magic trick, because you'll understand this better than anybody else, because in your past life you used to do this a lot. I don't believe in to this day, I don't believe in past lives. The maths don't add up. The irony is my whole business is actually built on technology from my past life self. Talk about that later. It's a way to manifest. Nothing makes sense, but it's up to you to whatever you want it to make sense. If it works, it works. I'm a rational guy, believe it or not. So he told me this manifestation technique. There is a full moon coming up this weekend. He calls it the Shiva Moon Ritual. And he told me to look into the middle of the moon. Not the peripherals, but straight bang in the middle. And for a minimum 10 minutes, you just look at it and you visualize what you're calling into your life. Exactly what you want, not what you don't want. And a lot of people talk and share what they don't want, rather than focusing on what you do want. So you play in your mind's eye what you want to manifest from that full moon to the next full moon. And you're just running a virtual simulation, a holographic image, and you're playing the movie over and over again. You're drilling it into your subconscious whilst looking at the moon. And he said, you have to give something in exchange for what you're getting. I was like, oh, this sounds a bit spooky. And he said, yeah, there's always a give and take. To this day, I've been getting a lot. And I give something in exchange, which I'll tell later. So I tried this. Full moon happened. I wanted a girlfriend. And I was like visualizing what type of girlfriend do I want. Back in 2016, I wanted a tantric sex guru. Like I wanted a tantrika who could teach me about Tantra. And together we could do sex magic rituals, and she could just accelerate my personal growth, because I wanted to be a Tantra teacher. And together we could teach together or something. So I visualized that. And the next day at the ecstatic dance, I met somebody. And then that night, we made love. And it was immediate. From having a very long dry spell, not knowing when it's gonna end, and for dudes, it's a lot harder. I just want everyone to know. We don't have the opportunity of walking around the streets and 15 men want to have sex with us. That just doesn't happen. We don't have the opportunity of having 1,700 dick pics inside of our Tinder profile saying we want to have sex. That just doesn't happen for dudes. We're lucky if somebody gives us a smile. This could be a limited belief from my side. It is a bit of a limited belief from my side. But that moment, I had the results. I'm a very rational, logical guy. If I've invested some time, 10 minutes, looking at the moon, I will literally try anything. Anything someone tells me to do, I'll give it a go. If it works, it doesn't. If it does, it doesn't. If this one worked, I was like, great, amazing. And finding love for me was not easy. I have to be on a stage in front of at least 1,000 people for people to see me whilst I'm dancing and rocking the mic, doing some kind of big performance, in order for somebody to come up to me and say, wow, you're amazing, you want to be my boyfriend? I'd be like, yes. I have to go to elaborate lengths to find love. So to not have that was a game changer. So that became my monthly practice. So that's a little tool for everybody. On the full moon, look into the middle of the moon, right in the middle, for 10 minutes, visualize what you want. Now, I mentioned you've got to give something in exchange. That's the foundation of my actual other business, is sex magic. But we're going to go into that later. So the intention is the clearest thing you need to have, and that's the foundation to everything. What is it that you actually want? The Spice Girls always ask that, tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Now, I don't know what a zigga zigar is, but knowing a defined, very clear intention allows your subconscious and your conscious to connect out there. There is something inside of us, I could never say the word, the reticular activated system, but it's a success missile. You'll get whatever you want. It's just hardwired inside of us. I want a pink Tesla. Then you start seeing more pink Teslas. Then you might even meet someone who has a pink Tesla. Now you're closer to a pink Tesla than you could ever imagine. And that's how manifestation works. And I was like, when I was 7 years old, I couldn't afford a baseball cap. And I really wanted a baseball cap. And then randomly, I found one in the old railway tracks. I got a baseball cap. And then randomly, my mum and dad got more rich, and they bought me a Raiders American football baseball cap with metal plate. It was better than the free one. And another time was when I really wanted a skateboard. And then I found a brand new pink skateboard down the alleyway. But I almost got run over by my friend's dad, and it got crushed underneath the thing. And that was a bit of my trauma around manifestation, because after that I never wished for anything material like that. I had desires, but it wasn't such a big, I want, I need. It was more like, wouldn't it be nice if I had that? So I ended up forgetting about this manifestation thing. At the age of 36, coming to an island like this, I discovered a thing called sex magic. I learned so many different modalities around manifestation, where I practiced it religiously. And I jokingly use the term religiously because it was connected to religious deities like Lakshmi, the goddess of abundance. The mantra that randomly appeared in my life during a period of, sex magic works, I'm getting girlfriends, but I'm now running out of money. Life is a constant balance of three things: home, love, and purpose. Some people have one, lucky people have two, very rarely many have three. It's a constant juggle. So now I maintain the love. In fact, I got so good at love that I was having harems of women. So great at connection and intimacy that I had long-lasting harems and lovers and relationships where I was able to understand how to form committed, long-lasting relationships with multiple people. Like, you get good at one relationship. Being a human, we all get good at one thing, and then we want to scale it because we get a bit bored, and then tell everybody how we did it. So I did that with relationships. I was obsessed by a thing called polyamory. And then I created this whole relationship structure. Relationship Mastery is like one of my online courses. It's like a really basic framework to be in monogamy, long-lasting, committed monogamy, but also utilizing it for designing any kind of relationship you want. It's not just about polyamory or monogamy, it's about everything in between and having a choice around how you want to love. It's no longer one way or the other way. It's like, okay, love is love and I'm me in this moment in my life. What do I really want? And then you'll very often find the right people. Like 2 days ago, I was bitching and moaning, going, fuck, there's no polyamory people. Oh, it's a disaster. Nobody loves me. And then today I had lunch with a polyamorous person. I was like, wow. Terrible way of manifesting, by the way. You cannot complain your way out of a situation. You can have a longing for somebody or something and put things into action. Like bitching and moaning, if done right, not recommended, does put you into action because you suffer enough to get you out of your bullshit situation. For me, it's like living at my parents' home. I had to become really good at school, so I had to leave my parents' home. FYI, I love my parents. I've got mum tattooed on my back. My dad's my best friend now. Tantra really helps with mummy and daddy issues, as well as manifestation. So yes, there's a tantric way, and then which is sex magic, which is one of the greatest ways to manifest anything. I also left the world of Tantra and found a thing called Dr. Joe Dispenza. If you've heard of Dr. Joe Dispenza, then I heard of Tony Robbins, I heard of Emily Fletcher, then I heard of Vishen Lakhiani, then I heard of Regan Hilliard, then I heard of Mind Valley, then I heard about all these people that was basically teaching Tantra, but multi-millionaires and billionaires. And it's only when I left Koh Phangan and places like Koh Phangan did I start meeting other people outside of the goddess and empowerment industry, manifesting on a greater level. Do you know Abraham Hicks? There's many things. There's The Secret, the law of attraction. There's all these ways to utilize the waves of the planet, like you utilize Wi-Fi and radio waves. There's a collective consciousness that you could tap into, just like Neo, where he learns Kung Fu, and you could bring it into your subconscious, your brain. You visualize it enough, you actually become good at something new. How do I know this? I tried it with a lot of different things. A new thing I'm working on is marketing. Like, I'm terrible at marketing, and the fact that I'm saying I'm terrible at marketing means I'm actually making it worse for me to become I'm amazing at marketing. So language is really important. The way we cast spells on ourselves is something that we really don't know that we're doing it until you're in another environment where people, this happened to me, pull me aside and go, Shaft, you can't say I need to become a multimillionaire. Shaft, we've heard you speaking. You can't speak like that around us ever again. They would literally have interventions. These are like the big hitters in the wellness scene. Like they're the wellness rock stars of the world. And they speak in a language that I have never heard of, because I've never been around a community of, I call that race the impact race. Like, you got the rat race, we've all won that one. There's the enlightenment race. A lot of people get trapped in that one. It's very much like the woke, spiritual, conscious communities. You can reach enlightenment. It's not hard. But once you do that, life is a little bit more challenging, because not only do you need to buy a house, get married and have kids and live in a job, you actually have to buy land, build a community, have an online course, make it successful, run retreats, be an influencer, buy my online course, buy my book, and you've got to do a whole bunch of stuff. And now it's instead of 9 to 5, it's 24/7. And then you do burn out from that one as well, eventually. And then you find the impact race because you realize you had your awakening from your awakening's awakening. And then you go, okay, how can I merge the two together? How can I use Eastern mysticism, a manifestation, with the rat race, being in normal society and being in a place like this? And there is different energies of the land as well. Things flow differently in different parts of the world. Berlin, for me, is the most mystical place on the planet. By far, it's crazy. I've had the most incredible awakenings that have been long-lasting there than ever before. This island is built on quartz crystal, so you have insane levels of manifestation. Be careful what you wish for. Everything will come true, so you have to have a very clear brain, and that takes a lot of spiritual sadhanas, practices, meditations, breath work, purification, letting go of like old limited belief systems about money doesn't grow in trees. So wrapping this section up, I've given you one meditation if you're here for the full moon this coming week. But the key is the intention, saying what you want rather than what you don't want. For example, I want £10,000 in my bank account. You'll get £10,000 in your bank account, but your uncle might die and you might inherit something. Or you say, I want £10,000 from tantrawithshaf.com, selling my online courses, and then somehow a CMO appears and goes, I would love to do the marketing for you. It's random stuff like that. And just observe your time from now to your time till then. Are you guys on the island for a while? 1 week, 2 weeks, 2 months, 3 months?
2 months.
2 months, okay. So I'm going to be doing this weekly because I'm on my own journey as well. And I'm attracting love again. I'm in that phase in my life where I've been in the matrix for 2 long years in front of this device editing. So I lost the ability to connect with people. I'm back, but I was hanging around with multi-millionaires and my stories are insane. And I learned about mindset and manifestation in a very different way, which we're going to go deeper in a second. And now I'm in this environment where I need to remember how it is in this environment. The energy of the land is different from that world to this world. And in that world, they use a different type of manifestation. They use prayer. They use positive affirmations. They use vision boards. They have to have a very disciplined practice where they are constantly focused on the prize all the time. And self-doubt kicks in and they have to kick out self-doubt. Fear kicks in. You do go into chaos and they have to kick out all of that. And they do it through pray, or speaking to God or something. Every successful person I've met has a connection to something higher than them. My parents are Muslim. They love Allah. They've manifested everything because of Allah. 100%. Again, hindsight. I see what they're doing and it works. Because to this day, they still can't read or write English. The kids had to help them out. But somehow, an illegal immigrant from Bangladesh who can't read or write English bought a house, got his family to that house, bought a restaurant, bought another restaurant, bought the house next to the restaurant so the kids could have an arranged marriage and live in the next house. Then bought another house, then had enough money to send back to Bangladesh to build the mosque and the village and the villa, and they got a huge empire just by praying to Allah. Someone in my family is dyslexic and identifies with dyslexia, heavily. I am dyslexic and this is why I can't be a success. That's their identity. I'm also dyslexic. Did I mention that earlier? And I got a free computer, had a great time. Got $3,000 as well. told everyone to do it, and everyone else got a free computer and set them up for after graduation. It was great, but it's not my identity. For the person in my family, it's their identity, and they haven't been able to achieve half the things my parents, I mean, not even a fraction of the things that my parents managed to achieve. So when I discovered the millionaires praying, they could say nature, God, Shiva, whoever it is. I used to use the term, because I wasn't religious, the uniforce, because I identified as a unicorn, and I had the 10 principles of unicornia, which I channeled in Jerusalem, so I literally thought I was a religious leader. But then I repackaged it for Tantra, then I had the 10 principles of sacred sexual awakening, and then I used the term the yoni force, or the yoniverse. People in the spiritual scene, they call it universe, oneness. There's always something that they're praying to, calling in. And it's in every single religion. And this is an observing religion and structures and things. Everybody in religion is praying or doing some kind of mantra to keep their eyes on the prize and be focused on their goal. And it works. I'm just like trying to get rid of all the gunk and just finding the modalities without the dogma, saying, my God's better than your God, my method's better than your method. It's just like, let's just give everything a go and see what happens. And I literally give everything a go and see what happens. I mean, I love praying in churches now. If I see a church, I'll sit in there, because I'm so self-aware about the effect of my brain and what meditation feels like, what ayahuasca feels like, what DMT feels like, what conscious ketamine feels like, what trance states in sex magic rituals feels like, what a tantric ritual feels like in my brain. How does the information drop into my brain? Like, I'm just calculating and seeing and feeling everything inside of my brain. And from there, when I pray, prayer has a different feeling inside of my brain. So it's fascinating. So we're going to go deeper into an exercise. And for everybody watching, if you enjoyed this, make sure you smash up that like. The algorithm gods is the one that we're praying to today, so make sure you share this with your friends. If you found any value, check out my online courses, and I'll see you for another Manifestation Monday. And don't forget to check out my OnlyFans page, The Shaft Show, and also click the link below. Do it right now to get your free guide all about how to be a modern day man, and check out my online course, Instant Sex God, my 1-month semen retention program that will change your life. And once you've done that, you could upgrade to the Sacred Sexual Jedi Academy. And if you want to know how to use the sexual energy to manifest, try out Learn How to Manifest with this course. But you also need a foundation, Boundaries and Consent, another amazing course, and also the course that saved my father's life, Learn Tantra, the Art of Conscious Touch. And also for the ladies out there, there's a 3-month training coming up, so sign up for that. And my book is also available, the story of how I saved my father's life, but also everything about Tantra. So make sure you click. I love my